Guys, friends, we have something really special for you today. We're going to visit the first capital of the Antioquia department of Colombia, and that is Santa Fe de Antioquia. Less than 100 years after Cristoforo Colombo, or as the Spanish call him, Cristobal Colon, or as in English we call him Christopher Columbus, got lost on his way looking for India and came across the New World. Of course, Colombia in South America was being settled, and so the what's now the Colombian department of Antioquia, we had the first capital established. It was still a colony of Spain, of course, and that was in 1541. And so Santa Fe de Antioquia, Santa Fe in Spanish means holy faith, actually. But we're going to visit this colonial town. A lot of you, if you've been to Medellín, one of the things that you may have noticed, hopefully you've gotten outside of the tourist traps and you've gone and explored the city, but one of the things you're going to see is, unlike Bogota or unlike Cartagena, for example, or Santa Marta, you don't see colonial architecture from back then in the 16th and 17th centuries. Medellín didn't really exist until the 1800s. The first capital, established in 1541, like I said, just barely, just over 50 years after Europeans even realized that the New World existed, Santa Fe de Antioquia was named as the capital of the department of Antioquia. Now, Colombia has departments just like we might see in the US we have states, or in Canada we have provinces, in Colombia they have departments. And so the first capital of the Antioquia department was Santa Fe. It's a lovely town, it's a beautiful town, and we're gonna go and see it today. I've been there many times before, but now I get to share it with you guys, and I'm really excited because it's one of my favorite places to visit. I'm never bored when I'm there. It's so much fun, and there's a lot of history as well. So let's go and explore. So we're here in Santa Fe de Antioquia, the Central Park, based on the traditional Spanish style. Every town and every city is built around, you'll have a park, and in the park you'll have the church, the principal church. Obviously towns of any size will have multiple ones. And then you'll also have the oficialia, or the alcaldía, which is to say where the mayor's office is, which in this case is on this side behind us. That is I imagine that there are towns not built like that, but that's kind of the original style. So Santa Fe de Antioquia was established in 1541. But people ask, okay, why did the capital of Antioquia move to Medellín? And normally there's all kinds of political reasons and things like that, but in this case it's interesting because there was the governor of Antioquia, and this was in the 1800s. His name was Gregorio Ureta. Gregorio was in love with a
lady named Rosalia Salriaga. And Rosalia was from Medellin. Now, Santa Fe is very hot. Right now it's probably about 40 degrees, which is, I don't know, about 80, between 85 and 90 degrees Fahrenheit. It's very hot. It's about 4 o'clock in the afternoon. And today we go, oh, like, you know, there are beach towns and places like that, and it's nice. Miami and San Diego and all these Caribbean islands. But we have air conditioning today. Back then, and we have ice cubes. Back then they didn't have air conditioning. They didn't even have ice cubes. And so Rosalia said there was no way in hell she was going to move to Santa Fe. So what did Gregorio do, the governor of Antioquia? Because he was in love with this girl from what's now Medellin, he moved the capital from Santa Fe to Medellin, not because of any geopolitical reasons, not because of any financial reasons or anything like that, but because he was in love. And so that is why Santa Fe is no longer the capital of Antioquia, but Medellin is. Still, if you visited, like I said, if you visited Medellin, you see that there's no historical section beyond the neighborhood called Prado. Prado is beautiful. It has all these mansions, but they're from the 1920s. Here in Santa Fe, you can visit a colonial style of things built in the 1500s, the 1600s. So it really is definitely worth visiting. With the new 4-lane highway, it's less than 90 minutes outside of Medellin. So we're here at the park. This street over here is called Humiliation Street, basically, Humilladores. And this park right here behind me is where they would bring slaves to this part of the country and auction them off and sell them, and also torture them. So we had different inquisitions and things like that. And when they captured indigenous people, or when they bought slaves over from Africa, they also, a lot of people don't realize this, but they enslaved people, the indigenous people too. They would also demand that you become Catholic. And if you didn't, they would torture you until you submitted or died. And so this park right here, in this street, Calle de los Humilladores, is the historic part where they did that here in the 15th and 16th century. We're here in the restaurant Casa de Solariega. Casa de Solariega is a continental European restaurant. Lunchtime just finished, but it is the most, let's say, gourmet restaurant in Santa Fe. Highly recommended. They have a selection of almost 100 European beers, Trappist beers like Chimay and Unibrow, more popular brands like you see like Duvel, Delirium, but they have even some very little known brands. They have a few American brands. Of course, they have the Colombian brands and things like that. The place is like a museum. It's also like an art gallery. They have art for sale here. So definitely a place to, I mean, there's lots of good places to eat here, but look at this. It's like a museum of the old days. We're in a restaurant, but it really is a museum that you're allowed to eat in. So Casa Solariega, they have a foundation where they help. They give Christmas gifts to children from the surrounding villages and hamlets. But when you come here, you've got to take the time to really explore the place. It's amazing. And that is Casa Solariega. Cuánto dolor dejaste aquí en mi pecho, mi corazón no soporta tu ausencia, quiero gritar, pensar que ha sido un sueño,
pero no estás, que tengo da consuelo, mi corazón se llena de tristeza, cuánto dolor ha dejado tu ausencia, quiero llorar, pensar que es mentira, pero no estás, ¿qué será de mi vida?
So the bridge was made in 1895. It's been restored a few times, it's been painted, but what happened was that there was no way yet, there was no route or road to get from Medellín to the Pacific. And so what they did was, I mean, you had to cross the Rio Cauca and you had to take a boat or something or find somebody to float you across, and you could see it's a fast flowing river. So Jose Maria Villa was a civil engineer, a bridge architect, actually from Sopetran. Sopetran is a town just a few minutes away from Santa Fe de Antioquia. He designed a bridge across La Pintada, and they contracted with him to design this bridge. And so this bridge was built in 1895, and it was the first crossing or road, if you would, even, I mean, there weren't really cars. I mean, they were invented, but they weren't really using those, but horses and carts or whatever. But to get from the Pacific region or the west of Colombia over to, let's say, the rest of Antioquia where Medellín is. So this bridge was the first connection between Santa Fe, Medellín, that part of the region, with the Pacific coast, which even today remains very isolated. You cannot drive right now from, let's say, Medellín to the Pacific Ocean. There are towns on the Pacific Ocean in the department of Chocó, like Bahia Solano or Nuquí, and you can't drive to them. The furthest you could drive is to Quibdó in Chocó, which is the capital of the Pacific region, but it is still very underdeveloped. In some ways, that's a good thing because of the natural beauty and the rainforest and everything like that. On the other hand, the people lack investment and resources for education and things like that. So this bridge was built to first connect that part of the country with Medellín. Now there, of course, are more modern bridges, and this is really just a little tiny bridge. When they renovated it, they shut it down to like car and truck traffic, and so now people can just pass with the motorcycles or something like that. There's a nearby town here called Liborio. And so that is why this bridge was originally built. Today, it's really kind of a tourist attraction, even though motorcycles can still use it to get from one town to the other. Here we are at the mighty Cauca River. This river begins up in the mountains near Popayán, which is in the department of Cauca, south of here, south of Cali. And the river goes for about 700 miles and then empties out into the Magdalena River, which of course then empties out into the Caribbean. The interesting thing is that even though for all of its length almost it's closer to the Pacific Ocean, but because of the western range of the Andes, it flows from south to north and then empties into the Magdalena at the part that they call Bajo Cauca, or the Lower Cauca region. A lot of people think that this river goes through Cali. It doesn't. It goes near Cali. It's still a little down there, but the river in Cali, the Rio Cali, actually empties into the Cauca River. It's one of the things that you really can't miss when you come to visit Santa Fe de Antioquia. The river's, even though it's really big, it's flowing quickly. Even though when it rises and the rains, all of this stuff is covered in it, it can be quite something. It flows through the mighty Hydroituango hydroelectric dam, which is amazing in itself. That's a few hours north of here. The generation is actually already operating, but once it's fully online, that dam, which is powered by this river, will supply 20% of Colombia's electrical power into the next decade. So really amazing. I'll share some pictures, and I think I have some video I got to visit, and that was something I'll never forget. Here we're outside of the Hotel Mariscal Robledo, where they have all of these people who were important to the history of Antioquia. Selección de personas que han influido positivamente sobre la ciudad de Antioquia a través de la historia. So it's a kind of like a wall of history going back to the 15th century. With all kinds of people. This is on the side of the hotel called Mariscal Robledo. A beautiful hotel. Again, inside is like a museum. So if you stay here, it's beautiful. But even if you don't stay here, you're allowed to go in and go to the restaurant or bar and look at there's a library in there with classic books and things like that. So again, another important historical site here in Antioquia, in Santa Fe de Antioquia, which is so full of them. We're here in the central park, or the town square. Right now it's a Saturday afternoon, mid-afternoon, but at night this place is full. This place becomes an absolute party. So it's great for the whole family, but if you want to come and party and have a good time with real people, not let's say weirdness, this is the place for you. So right now in the day it's kind of tranquil, but at night it's really jumping. It's a lot of fun. So come to Santa Fe de Antioquia.